Hello and welcome to Rice YouTube channel. I am Devolution Shah, and in today's editorial explain, we are going to see about the 16th Finance Commission. The article which surfaced into the Hindu newspaper, today's Hindu newspaper, that is 26th of May's Hindu newspaper, it was Finance Commission transfer and equity issue. On the basis of the same article, we have drawn the important facts from this article which would be very much required for the upcoming mains examination and near years mains examination, which a aspirant must know at the same point of time. Those facts also which will enhance a aspirant's answer writing capability and understanding. So without a further delay, let's get started. Before starting, I want you all to focus upon the UPSC mains model question. The question which has been drawn keeping in mind the upcoming mains exam. Yes, I do understand that in previous times also UPSC has directly and indirectly asked about Finance Commission. But if a question in this year's mains will surface into this year's paper, we can see a similar kind of question. The question follows: the Finance Commission transfer formula has increasingly raised concern regarding equity, efficiency, and fiscal autonomy of the states. Critically examine the tail word. 15 marks, GS3 economy. So, after reading this article, I will make sure that this question, the question we just heard, the model question, can be easily tackled. And after the complete discussion, you will be able to not only able to handle the question properly, I will make sure that you get the best marks among your friends. So let's start. In today's discussion, we're going to discuss the overall topic into 6 subheads. The first would be the context. The second would be the Finance Commission and its role and fiscal federalism. The third would be the key concern raised by the states before the 16th Finance Commission, which is the core agenda, the core idea of the article. All other things are supporting documents, the supporting core ideas. The recommendation on 16th Finance Commission. What the recommendation the 16th Finance Commission has actually given. A way forward between those two, between 3 and 4, and a conclusion. So let's get started. Let's build the context first. We all know that the 16th Finance Commission had recently submitted its report to the President. And after the reports are being published, we get to see multiple states have not taken a good note of that. They are complaining about the fact that this Finance Commission has also not addressed the problems which they are facing like the earlier ones also. Therefore, we get to see the article in today's Hindu newspaper. The context now being set. Now let's look upon to the Finance Commission, the origin of Finance Commission and its role and responsibility. The origin of Finance Commission we get to see under Article 280 of Constitution of India, where its objective says it does vertical and horizontal fiscal distribution, and at the same point of time it corrects the imbalance which has gradually formed after its previous reports. Therefore, what we conclude from here is that once 15th Finance Commission has submitted its report, it has given a formula upon which vertical and horizontal distribution among states and center is being done. But between the two phases of 15 and 16 Finance Commission establishment, there will arise some imbalance in the situation. So the next Finance Commission will not only recommend upon the fact that what would be the formula of distribution between state and center, but it will also correct the imbalance which has happened in the previous years. The first. The second part, its responsibility. The responsibility which it has done is that it has retained the 41% devolution of divisible tax pool to the state. But it has changed some of the criterias upon which the horizontal distribution is being done. Let's move on to the third part. What was the key concern of the states raised before the 16th Finance Commission? The first very concern was the cess and surcharge issue. We all know that cess and surcharge does not constitute to the divisible pool which the Finance Commission recommends upon distribution between states and center. Now this divisible pool had shoot up to 15% of the total finances. Now states are complaining that either you give us a part of that cess and surcharge pool, the cess and surcharge should be included in the divisible pool, or it should be restricted to 8% only. This was the first issue. The second part is that even after shrinking fiscal space of the states, the Finance Commission has taken the same stand as the previous Finance Commission for vertical devolution, that is 41%. They are complaining that even after the post-pandemic shocks, COVID shocks, the recent crisis, and the other geopolitical situation, which is equally affecting the states like it is affecting the center, so why not there was a increase in the vertical devolution? The third, they are also complaining upon the fact that it is becoming quite hard to predict what the next Finance Commission is going to recommend. There should be a strict formula upon which a long-term strategy, like for 20 years, can be drawn by the states so that there is no arbitrariness, there is equity, there is transparency while drawing the formula of horizontal and vertical devolution. And the last, the main contention, the debate around equity and efficiency of fiscal transfers. We will also see, when we get to see the recommendation, what does this equity and efficiency means. Let's, before discussing, getting into the actual clarity, the concept, let's discuss that on a brief, with a brief example. Let's first say, in a country where the country is divided among two major regions, region A and region B, where we get to see region A is highly developed and region B is comparatively less developed than region A. Where region A was able to restrict its population, at the same point of time was able to spend more on its population and have a ripple effect, at the same point of time region B was unable to do all those things which will give him a ripple effect like region A. So therefore, when a Finance Commission was being set up in the same country, the formula upon which whether it should praise or give rewards to efficiency to the region A, or it should give reward to equity, giving more emphasis to region B as it is lagging behind. So this is the main debate. So to better understand the debate, let's see the criteria upon which 16th Finance Commission has given its recommendation. The first part is income distance. Income distance is that formula, let's first say, an average of all persons per capita is been taken, and the distance from that level to the lower or the higher level would be the income distance. Let's first say example, average of a country's income is 500 rupees, and with the same example, region B's average is 400 and region A's average is 600. So region B, as it has more distance in a negative term from the country's average, it will get around 42.5% from the total divisible pool. giving more emphasis to efficiency. Sorry, equity rather than efficiency. The second would be the population, 17.5. Again, the country or the region which has more population will be benefited more. In the same example, region B. Therefore, region B will get again 17% from the divisible pool. Again, giving emphasis to equity. The third, area. Let's first say a country has 720 square feet, upon which region A has 600 square feet and the region B has 120 square feet. Therefore, the area is more to region A. Therefore, region A will get 10% on that basis, and the area and the rest would be given to the emphasis would be given to the region B. Same applies to the forest cover, demographic criteria. Now, here we get to see a efficiency-led parameter. All the previous parameters, excluding the forest cover, was on the basis of equity or the structural part. But here we get to see that there is a shift from equity to efficiency. The region which has better able to manage its population will get 10%. And at the same point of time, the region which is more contributing to GDP will again get 10%. This is where the debate comes into play, where we get to see efficiency is not been supported or rewarded like equity. Therefore, the state, the multiple states and the article gives suggests some way forwards. The way forwards are such follows. They suggest that there should be reduction in the over dependency on non-fiscal indicators. Like in this case, the contribution to national GDP would be a fiscal indicator, whereas population is a non-fiscal indicator. Income distance is a fiscal indicator, but area is a non-fiscal indicator. So the article points out on the fact that there should be more emphasis on the fiscal indicator rather than in non-fiscal indicators. At the same point of time, articles also point out that there should be a proper balance between equity and efficiency, so that both region A, as per the example, region A and region B can flourish, where region A is rewarded for its better performance. At the same point of time, region B is also been pushed so that in future it replicates the result of region A. Third would be the rationalization of cess and surcharge. As we were speaking earlier, the surcharge is now constituting around 15%, which the state don't have any access to. Therefore, they are again the article request the government and the finance commission to look upon the fact that either they reduce the surcharge to 8% or include states into that surcharge pool also. And the fourth would be improvement of predictability, because in long run, predictability is the most important pillar, where a state decides upon the fact that how it's going to manage or it's going to govern in the upcoming years. Let's first say 20 years as we are discussing. So if they don't have a clear picture of the upcoming 1 to 2 finance commissions formula, they will be on a gray zone where they won't have any idea how things gonna turn out in future. Therefore, there has to be a clear guidelines on the predictability or the formula which has been drawn by the finance commission. With this, if we draw a conclusion, we can draw the same conclusion as we have mentioned here. The 16th Finance Commission attempts to bridge the gap between the poor and the rich state, the region A and the region B. Yet, the marginal shift suggests that efficiency equity trade-off remain unsolved, because we have seen in this criteria only. For truly resilient India, the fiscal architecture must evolve to reward economic contribution while ensuring that basic public service are conveyed across all geographic boundaries. Again, the core idea. We do acknowledge the fact that region A is giving more economic contribution to the country, and at the same point of time we reward that so that it gets motivated. And at the same point of time we also give a push to region B so that it also is able to produce the same amount of economic contribution in future like the region A is doing. With this, I would conclude today's session, and I hope that this discussion was quite helpful for your preparation and understanding this article. If this discussion was indeed helpful, I would like you to subscribe to Rice Eyes YouTube channel and like the video. Thank you.